Several hours later, I arrived in Ireland, the Emerald Isle. I'd been lucky to get a bus from Dublin to the tiny village of Lochmarne. On the way out, the driver told me there was only one service a day. The menu was limited. It read, "No food today." I didn't care. I'd lost my appetite somewhere over the Irish Sea. There was no food on the menu. It was a trap door in the sidewalk. I tugged at the trap door, but it was locked from the inside. The drain was covered with an iron grating, through which I could hear the rush and surge of running water. I took hold of the grating and pulled hard, but it didn't move. It was a featureless plastic box firmly attached to the wall of the building. I tugged at the plastic cover, but it didn't move. The lad was doing his best to express his adolescent aggression. His effort was somewhat diminished by the fringe of milk on his lightly feathered upper lip. "Hi there."
What?
"What's your name, kid?"
Who are you calling kid? Who the hell are you?
"I'm George Stobart, and I'm with the good guys."
You're a head case, mister. A few sandwiches short of the picnic.
"Cut the crap and tell me your name."
Liam McGuire.
"What are you doing hanging around the bar, McGuire?"
I'm on the run from me dad.
"Why? Did you do something bad?"
I ain't done nothing, boss.
"You can tell me, kid. Is it your dad?"
Oh, sir. He drinks every last penny down his evil throat. And there's me poor old mother, bedridden and dying of presumption. I tried to buy her medicine. Chopped firewood for Father Mahoney till me fingers bled. The old skinflint cheated me too. But I took the pennies he gave me back home. Look, Ma, says I, see what your darling son has earned with his own sweat and blood. When suddenly, me dad appears and grabs the loot. I'm off to Dublin heavy drinking, says he. Watch out till I get back. That's why I runned away.
Something in the grin on his face told me he wasn't being strictly truthful. Compared to him, Huckleberry Finn was a candidate for Altar Boy of the Year. "What can you tell me about the castle, McGuire?"
What do you want to know?
"Well, can I get inside?"
No, it's locked up.
"Does anyone live there?"
No, only...
"What?"
Oh, nothing.
"You know something about the castle you're not telling me, don't you?"
No,
"What is it you're covering up? Is it something you're scared of?"
I ain't scared of nothing.
"I'll give you one last chance to tell me about the castle."
Oh, yeah? And what if I don't?
"Then I'm taking you back to school."
Oh, there's a ghost. It's called the Phantom of Lochmarne.
"Have you seen a guy dressed as a clown?"
Here in Lochmarne, they all dress like clowns.
"The man I'm looking for is a dangerous psychotic."
Jesus. It's just like that film I saw. There's this clown, see, and he's after this kid who saw him kill a guy. He tries to warn the sheriff, only no one believes him. Then, while he's in the tub, the clown cuts him up with a chainsaw.
My God, that doesn't sound suitable for a kid like you.
Who are you calling a kid? I'm 25.
Yeah, right. You're not a day over 14.
Oh no, it's 25 that I am. Married with a car and 3 kids. 10 kids if you count the wives.
You're not telling me you believe in ghosts, are you?
Mister, I seen it with me very own eyes. Last Tuesday night, I went up to see what that dig was about. I just reached the top of the wall when I hears this awful noise.
What sort of noise?
A horrible snuffling and snorting, like O'Brien's pig, only worst. It was coming from inside the castle.
Did you find out what was making the noise in the castle?
No fear. I just sat there on the wall like Humpty Dumpty. The moon was cracked and greasy like an old dinner plate. The yard was full of shadows. I could have been hiding anything. I would have gone home, but my legs had lost their stuffing.
Did you get to see the ghost?
Indeed I did. And a fearsome sight it is too. I sat on my arse, waited while the moon went down. Then out it comes from the shadows, all grey and tattered and hunched over like an old bent willow. Then I hears this spluttering and splashing and horrible laughter in the dark. I was so scared. Why, I fell off the bloody wall.
I'm sure there's a rational explanation for what you saw at the castle.
There is. The bloody place is haunted.
What do you think this tool is used for?
Lifting drains.
Dead right. How did you know that?
Work experience course at school. They gives me a choice of going down the drains or up the chimney.
You're kidding. What do you think this tool is used for?
I told you. Lifting drains.
Have you ever seen anyone wearing one of these?
That belongs to the killer clown you're looking for.
That's right.
Can I have it?
Sorry. I'm keeping this as evidence.
You should have told the cops.
I did. They weren't interested. Have you ever seen anyone wearing one of these?
No.
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing.
Have you ever seen this man before?
What a slimy character. No, I never seed him.
Give me your hand.
Get lost.
Oh, come on. I just want to show you a little trick.
No way, mister. I don't do tricks. Father Mahoney told me I'd burn in hell if I did.
I just want to shake your hand, that's all.
Oh, all right.
Gotcha. Neat, huh?
Didn't feel a thing.
Shake my hand again.
No way.
Do you recognize this matchbook, McGuire?
No, sir. I never seen it before in my life.
Take a look at this, McGuire.
It's an ID card. What of it?
Ever heard of Thomas Merlin or the Gruber Electronics Corporation?
No.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
It was a telephone, incongruous in the rustic setting of the homely bar.
Allô? Couleur. J'écoute.
Nico?
Who is this?
It's me, George.
Oh, hello, George. Where are you?
I'm in Ireland.
Ireland? What are you doing there?
It's a long story.
Any signs of our friend the clown?
You're kidding. He probably never even heard of Lochmarne. It was an electric pump operated by pushing a small lever. I was about to reach for the pump when I came to my senses. A rash move like that in a strange country with strange customs could be my last. The white whiskers on the bartender's flushed face were like garlands on a Christmas tree. The resemblance ended there. The top of his head was too slick and shiny to act as a perch for a Christmas angel.
Top of the morning to you.
I beg your pardon.
Well, that's what you Irish say, isn't it?
Do you want something? Or are you just flaunting your xenophobia?
Well, I was trying to be sociable.
Is it a room you're after?
That's not a bad idea. Do you have a vacancy?
I could, if you don't mind waiting until the last guest checks out.
No problem. When will that be?
When the undertaker comes to collect him.
Have you served any, clowns recently?
No, you're the first today.
Seriously, I'm looking for a man dressed in a clown costume.
Would he be having a little white dog with a black patch over the eye?
I shouldn't think so. What can you tell me about the castle?
You're the second person to ask me that today. I don't know anything about the castle. It's only an old ruin anyway.
Who else was asking about the castle?
He said he was a reporter. He was asking about the little people.
I could have told him a tale or two about the little people. He might have paid me to hear what he wanted me to say.
Anyway, I chucked him out on his arse.
Good for you, Meg. That's the way to deal with journalists.
Here's something which might interest you.
Huh? Oh, what is it?
My passport to the sewers of Paris.
Is that so? Did you see the snooker last night, Mr. O'Brien?
We haven't got a television, Michael.
I know that. Why is it, if you don't mind me asking?
If God had meant us to watch television, we'd all be like Doyle.
I take it no one wants to hear about my underground escapades.
I'd rather drink me own beer.
Here's something which might interest you.
It doesn't.
Does this false nose mean anything to you?
It's not Red Nose Day again, is it?
I don't know. But this is part of a clown's costume.
I know that. Good God Almighty. What do you take me for?
Does this false nose mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Does this tissue mean anything to you?
That's disgusting.
Uh-huh. I found it in the sewers.
What's the idea of waving it around in my face? You're worse than old Ron. Put it away, man.
Does this tissue mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
Do you recognize this man?
No, I don't. What do you want with him?
I've got a score to settle.
I don't want any trouble in the bar, mister. If it's a fight you're looking for, see Father Mahoney.
A priest? A man of the cloth?
Sure. And he teaches the boys how to box at the youth club. According to Mahoney, it develops character. Isn't that right, Pat? Didn't he teach you the art of pugilism?
Doyle. Sorry, Michael. I was miles away. What did you say?
Never mind.
Do you recognize this man?
You already asked me that.
Hey, bartender?
Landlord, if you don't mind.
Sorry. Shake my hand, why don't you?
Now, why should I do that? What have you got up your sleeve?
Nothing. Come on, just shake my hand.
Not just now, mister. I have to be careful on account of the health restrictions.
Aw, jeez. Why won't you shake my hand?
Because I don't know where you've been.
Do you recognize this matchbook?
No, sir.
Do you recognize the name on this card?
No. Should I?
Nah, it was a long shot. Are you sure you don't recognize this?
I told you, no.
I'll try a glass of beer, please.
Is this your first pint of real ale?
Well, I guess so. What's real ale, anyhow?
Beer that's brewed from natural ingredients to traditional methods. It shouldn't be kept under pressure or refrigerated. And finally, it should have a good body and distinctive character.
In other words, it's flat and worn with bits in, and it makes you fall over.
Thanks. The glass contained a dark liquid like molasses, with a creamy white froth on the top. The glass was empty. Somehow I'd managed to drink the thick, sweet brew. I felt strangely compelled to order another, even though my every instinct warned me against it. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
May I have another beer, please?
Certainly, sir. Same again?
Yeah, please. How is this stuff made?
That's the secret of the master brewer, sir. Each barrel is lovingly manhandled in time-honored fashion, suspended on skillfully tied ropes of the finest hemp, lowered into the cellar, utilizing the forces of original gravity, like manna from heaven.
Thanks. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Hey, how about another drink?
Same again?
Do you serve cocktails?
I'll serve anyone with manners and money.
I'm serious. Have you considered turning McDevitt's into a cocktail bar? Cocktails are chic, cool, and popular with younger drinkers.
What? Kids in the bar? Can you imagine it? Pinball, Pimples, and Puke.
Right, I get the picture. I'll settle for a glass of stout. Thanks. The guy with the fiddle seemed oblivious to everything except his playing. Meanwhile, everyone else in the bar seemed oblivious to him. He wasn't listening. There was a vacant look on his cow-like face that said quite clearly, "Nobody home." His elbow rested on an obviously soggy piece of towel. It was a beer-stained piece of toweling. As the man raised his arm to drink, I snatched the towel away. Hi, my name's Stobart, George Stobart.
Hello there, mister. What can I do for you?
Can you tell me anything about the castle on the hill?
Oh, I don't know much about anything. You should ask Mr. O'Brien here. He just joined up writing. Would you be one of them history fellas yourself?
That's right, Professor Stobart, Miskatonic University.
You're an archaeologist, and you're asking us about the castle.
Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien. The gentleman was talking to me. How come you didn't leave with the others?
I didn't know they'd gone.
Oh, yes. Packed their spades and shovels and away they went.
Seems I missed all the excitement.
What excitement?
Do you know anything about Peagram's excavation?
Only that he didn't have the right tools for the job. What he needed was shovels and a JCB.
Peagram was digging for historical remains, not coal.
Is that a fact? What the hell for?
It's the science of archaeology, Pat. Understanding how people used to live by what they've left behind. One day archaeologists might be digging up our remains.
Imagine that, Mr. O'Brien. I wonder what they'll find.
Well, it won't be arrowheads and beakers. Fast food cartons and flavoured condoms, more likely.
Did anyone from the village work at Peagram's dig?
I tried it myself, but that high and mighty history man called me incontinent. What a nerve. Hadn't I dug more holes than the rest of them put together?
Is it true that Peagram found a valuable gem?
What? First I heard of it.
Where have you been, Pat? That gem is the talk of every town from Lochmarne to Ballydoon.
Nobody told me. The lucky sod. So that's why he scampered.
What do you make of this tool?
It's for lifting manhole covers.
That's right. I found it in Paris.
Well, you look at that. A French sewer key. Marvellous.
What does this false nose mean to you?
No, you're a clown.
No, not me.
Ha, you're a good one, aren't you? Did you hear that, Michael?
I hate clowns.
Listen to this fella. I hate clowns, says he. Isn't he just the funniest man you ever did see, Michael?
He's not a clown, Doyle. He's not even remotely funny.
Thanks. Have you seen this nose before?
Yes, mister.
Before I showed it to you the first time, I mean.
When was that?
Never mind. Have you seen this nose before?
No, sir. Definitely not.
Does this tissue mean anything to you?
No. But you should show that to my granny. She could tell you fortune from it.
From a soiled tissue?
Sure. Some people read tea leaves. My granny reads handkerchiefs.
Does this tissue mean anything to you?
No, boss.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
It's a handsome mug on that fella, to be sure. Is he a film star?
Don't be fooled. This is the face of a psychopathic killer.
No. Well, there's one in the eye for me and my men.
Are you sure you haven't seen this man?
It's the face of a therapeutic killer.
Oh, never mind. May I shake your hand?
No, you can't.
Well, how come?
Because I'll spill me beer if you do.
Do you recognize this matchbook?
No.
Does this security pass mean anything to you?
Well, no.
What do you think of this towel?
Now, there's a fine piece of cloth if ever I did see one. Such craft must surely come from linen cupboards of the Vatican itself.
I found it on the bar under your elbow.
I thought it looked familiar.
Look at this towel.
You showed me that before.
Bye for now. The guy sat in the corner as if he was a permanent fixture. Hello there. My name's George Stobart.
Pleased to meet you, I'm sure. I'm O'Brien. Can I help you?
What can you tell me about the castle, Mr. O'Brien?
It's a fine site now, isn't it? Dates back to the 10th century, you know. Most of the existing building was added much later, of course.
Are the ruins open to the public?
Oh no, it's much too dangerous. Anyway, there's nothing of interest remaining.
Can you tell me about the tripod which was found at the castle?
Now there's a bone of contention and controversy. It was dug up by an Englishman of the archaeological persuasion.
Who was this Englishman?
Professor Peagram, the same man who dug up the gem.
How can I get into the castle?
But those walls were built specifically to stop people getting in, Mr. Stobart. But I dare say you'll find a way, if you've the will.
Do you know where I can find Peagram?
You're too late to meet that fella.
Is he dead?
Not that, but he's gone from the village. A sore point with our esteemed host, I might add.
Do you know where Peagram has gone?
I'm sorry, but I don't. He upped anchor in the dark and shipped out before the dawn.
Why did he do that?
Who knows? A guilty conscience or a secret assignation. Whatever the reason, he'll not be missed in Lochmarne. Maybe now the fuss about the gem has died down, we can get back to normal.
What can you tell me about the gem which Peagram found?
Now there's a gem which should never have been taken. A man would have to be full of greed to covet that stone. What's your interest in the jewel? You're not a reporter, are you?
Yes, that's right.
Another bloody news hound. Well, you're wasting your time here, boy. You'll find the people of Lochmarne are a tight-lipped and cautious lot.
Why? Have you got something to hide?
It's just that we don't like to wash our dirty laundry in public.
Why has Peagram's departure upset the landlord?
Well, why don't you ask him yourself, Mr. Ace Reporter?
Can you tell me more about the landlord?
What's your game? Keep your nose out of our business, mister.
Does this tool mean anything to you?
I'd say it was for lifting manhole covers.
How come you know that?
I'm a man of the world, Mr. Stobart.
Does this tool mean anything to you?
I told you, it's for lifting manhole covers.
Does this red nose suggest anything to you?
It's a clown's nose, isn't it? I haven't been to a circus since I was 10 years old. O'Donnelly and I walked all the way to Ballymore, 15 miles in our bare feet.
Does this red nose suggest anything to you?
No, it doesn't.
What do you make of this tissue?
I'd guess that muck on it is grease paint.
There's no fooling you, Mr. O'Brien. Did I show you this tissue?
Yes, it's truly disgusting.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Nope, I've never seen him before.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Mr. O'Brien.
I'd rather not. You see, I happen to notice that vibrating buzzer in your palm.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Mr. O'Brien.
Oh, no, you don't.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
The design is Middle Eastern, I'd say.
What can you tell me about this ID pass?
Gruber Electronics. I've never heard of it.
Does this towel mean anything to you?
Sure, it's one of Leary's towels. Are you planning on stealing it?
Just borrowing it, if you must know. Did I show you this towel?
Yes, you did.
Goodbye for now.
Good riddance to you.
It was an electric glass washer. It looked even older than the barman.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Excuse me?
No customers behind the bar. Ever.
It was an electrical plug attached to the glass washer.
Get out.
The end of the bar was hinged, like the drawbridge on a medieval castle.
Get out.
I'd been taught not to judge people by their appearance or their clothes or the length of their hair. Nobody ever said anything about runny noses. Hi there, old-timer.
What?
Nasty cold you've got there. As soon as the words left my lips, I regretted them.
Is there such a thing as a cold which isn't nasty? I put the question to Father Mahoney. Father, says I, why were we born to suffer snot?
What did he say?
He said, it's my reward for being out all night like a sinner. Pious prig. Anyway, this is no ordinary cold. 'Tis the hay fever.
Halitosis?
Thank you. You're not a policeman, are you?
Excuse me?
Police? No, I'd know it if you were.
Can you tell me how to get into the castle?
Don't even think about it, me bucko. Lochmarne Castle is haunted.
That's what the kid outside told me, but I don't believe it.
Then you're a fool.
Do you know Peagram, the archaeologist?
That's the scrawny fellow who was poking around at the castle, isn't it? No, I don't know him.
Can I buy you a beer?
Very kind, I'm sure. But I don't drink the stuff Leary sells.
What's wrong with it?
I've seen what it can do.
Do you know where I can find Peagram?
I told you, I never heard of him.
Ghosts don't bother me. I still want to visit that castle.
You can't. It's not open to the public.
There's no one around to stop me, is there?
That's right. Nothing human, anyhow.
Were you aware that Peagram was conducting an archaeological dig?
I don't meddle in other people's affairs. They don't interest me.
Have you ever seen the ghost?
To be sure, with me very own eyes.
Can you describe the ghost?
It was horrible. A wee stunted beast, long beak, straggly, flappy wings.
Are you sure it wasn't a wild animal? A rabbit or a skunk or something?
Skunk? In Lochmarne? That'll be the day. No, that was a ghost, to be sure.
I think I know what you saw on the castle wall.
I know what I saw.
I don't think so. It was the kid, McGuire.
What?
He was up on the wall last Tuesday night. He thought you were the Phantom of Lochmarne.
Oh!
Can you identify this tool?
No.
What does this red nose mean to you?
I suppose you're collecting for charity?
No, I'm not. I want to know if you've seen someone wearing a nose like this.
No, I haven't.
What does this red nose mean to you?
Nothing.
You could make use of this tissue.
Never use them. Those things are unhygienic.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
Is that supposed to be you?
No, I don't have a scar on my face and I'm not from the Middle East.
I can't tell without me glasses.
Hey, would you like to shake my... No, on second thought, forget it. What does this matchbook mean to you?
Nothing. Go away and stop bothering me.
Take a look at this ID card.
Take a look. Oh, yes. Little plastic picture.
I don't suppose it means anything to you, does it?
No,
Take a look at this ID card.
I don't know anything about it.
Could you use this towel?
I could, but it wouldn't be much use for anything else.
I'll see you later.
The young red-haired guy was plainly nervous about something. Perhaps he felt threatened by the presence of a handsome dude like me.
My name's George.
Pleased to meet you, mister. My name's Fitzgerald.
Do you know Professor Peagram?
He's the archaeologist, isn't he?
That's right. Did you work at Professor Peagram's dig?
What gave you that idea?
What can you tell me about the castle?
There's nothing there. Just an old ruin.
How old?
I really couldn't tell you.
Have you ever explored the castle yourself?
I used to play there sometimes, when I was a kid. Then one of the little uns fell off the wall, broke his head and died. We didn't go there anymore.
You haven't been up there recently?
No.
Where can I find Professor Peagram?
I heard he's gone fishing. I don't know where.
Have you heard about the gem which Peagram found?
I heard a rumour, but you can't believe everything you hear or see, can you?
Can I get you another drink?
Oh, no, thank you. I shouldn't be drinking at all. I'm on tablets for my nerves. More than a pint and I'll pass out.
What do you think this tool is used for?
Something to do with horses?
Wrong. It's for opening manhole covers.
Oh, really? Well, you learn something every day.
Did I show you this tool?
Yes, you did.
What does this red nose suggest to you?
Blood.
Why's that?
I used to bleed a lot when I was a kid. Every time there was a playground scrap, I'd end up with a bloody nose. I wouldn't have minded, but I wasn't even involved in the scraps.
What does this red nose suggest to you?
Nothing.
What does this tissue suggest to you?
Nothing.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No. At least I don't think so.
Look closely. He has a scar on his face.
No, I'm sure I don't know him.
Shake my hand.
It's a trick, isn't it?
Damn it, you're right. I can't seem to fool anyone. Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
No.
Check out this pass.
Yeah. It's yours, is it?
Not exactly. Do you recognize the name?
Thomas Merlin? No. Never heard of him.
Ever seen this towel before?
Doesn't it belong on the bar?
Very observant, Fitzgerald. See you later. Hey,
Hello there again, mister.
do you remember seeing Sean Fitzgerald at the dig?
Let me see now. I think me brain box needs a spot of lubrication.
Can I buy you a drink?
You most certainly can.
Give me a drink for my friend here.
Who, Doyle? Has he conned you into buying for him? Shame on you, Patrick. Same again.
Just a point this time, Michael.
1 point of brown coming up.
Do you remember Sean Fitzgerald now?
I can picture the scene as if it was only last week. Come to think of it, it was only last week. Fitzgerald was there all right. Him and a bunch of students. He was speaking with the boss man.
Bye for now. Hey, McGuire.
What do you want to know?
Do you know a man called Peagram?
Can you describe him like on the telly in the cop shows?
He's an English archaeologist.
I know the man you mean if he's the one.
Can you tell me where I'd find Peagram?
No, I can't, 'cause he's not here now, but if I sees him, I'll ask him.
Do you know what Peagram was doing in the castle?
Digging for buried treasure? Jewels and gold and skeletons, like in the films.
I heard that Peagram had found a legendary gem.
That's right. It's been the talk of Lochmarne all week.
You haven't seen the gem, have you?
Hell no. I reckon Peagram made off with it. If I was him, I'd go to Amsterdam, chop it up and sell it. He could be living the life of Riley instead of digging holes.
Do you know anything about Peagram's dig?
He wouldn't let me anywhere near it. I offered to help, but he chased me off. I didn't want to see his smelly old hole anyhow.
Did anyone from the village work at the dig?
Peagram brought some students and bums with him. He reckoned no one in Lochmarne would know what to look for. The only local guy who worked for him was Sean Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald says he's never been anywhere near the dig.
He's having you on, mister.
Are you sure Fitzgerald worked at the dig?
Oh, yes. It was him all right. Would I tell a lie?
Well, he denies it.
I saw them together only last night.
I wish you'd told me that sooner. What were they doing?
Peagram gave Fitzy a box. He didn't look too happy about it.
I knew it. But how am I going to persuade him to part with it?
Break his fingers.
Nah, I couldn't do that.
I could.
Thanks for the offer, kid, but I'll try a more subtle approach.
Chinese burns?
What's Fitzgerald scared of?
Everything and everyone.
So I shouldn't have any trouble getting him to talk.
He's a pushover. But don't scare him too much. Try the soft touch. Butter him up a bit.
What do you make of this, kid?
Hey, that's one of Leary's towels. He'll skin you alive.
That old windbag doesn't scare me. Anyhow, I'm only borrowing it.
You're pretty cool, mister. For an old guy.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
I recognized the guy from McGuire's description. He was real twitchy.
Hello.
McGuire says he saw you working at the dig. What's more, he saw you talking with Peagram.
I knew this would happen. I knew I'd get caught.
Doyle told me you definitely worked at the dig. He's seen you there. You might as well admit it.
Just my luck. Grasped up by a delinquent and a dimwit.
I need to talk to Professor Peagram, if he's still alive.
What do you mean? Is he in danger?
Yeah, you too, if I'm right.
You're not from the Social Security.
Hell no. What makes you think that?
Well, I was claiming benefit at the same time I was working for Pickram.
I'm not in a position to make judgments, Sean. That's between you and your conscience. All I want is to talk to Peagram about the gem.
But he's not here.
I know that. But he left that package with you, didn't he? What did Peagram find at the castle?
The entrance to an underground chamber. It was filled with earth and rubble, and Peagram had us dig it out. We uncovered a secret room, a hidden chapel.
Did Peagram find the gem in the altar room?
I don't know. He made us leave and wouldn't tell us why. Half an hour later he came out. White as a sheet he was. He closed down the dig and locked up the castle, sent us all away.
From the sound of it, Peagram had discovered more than just the gem. So where did Peagram go?
I don't know. I swear it. He came to see me early this morning. Said he was leaving. He asked me to give this package to a guy called Marquet.
Show me what's in the package, Sean.
I can't do that.
Why not?
I promised the professor.
So what? You didn't have any qualms about your benefit scam. So where's the harm in taking a peek inside Peagram's package?
You don't know these people. I can't. I don't dare.
This is your last chance to show me the package, Fitzgerald. I've been patient with you, but now it's time to kick ass.
But he'll kill me.
Who will?
Man from Paris. Jack Marquet. Peagram told me if I gave him the package unopened, I'd hear no more about it. But if I double-crossed Marquet, I'd be dead.
I'll deal with Jacques Marquet. Give the package to me.
No. Why should I trust you? I don't know who to trust anymore. I wish I'd never even heard of the Lochmarne gem. Hey! I just seen a big red...
Get out of here, McGuire. Come back when you're old enough.
What's the lad howling about?
A big red sports car. Sean Fitzgerald's been runned over.
Get out! Noisy little tyke.
Maybe you should send out some medicinal brandy, Michael.
Oh, yes. And who's going to pay for it?
Not me.
Me too, neither.
Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien.
What now? Young Fitzgerald seems to have a problem.
Yeah. I don't know what got into him.
He's a strange lad. Gets wrapped up inside himself.
Oh, nothing.
Good riddance to you.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Aren't you going to see what happened to Fitzgerald?
Why?
Didn't you hear what the kid said? The man's been hit by an automobile.
You don't want to listen to McGuire. He's a born liar and a hooligan.
I'm really concerned for Fitzgerald's safety.
Why? He's probably gone home, unless he's in the ditch.
Don't you care about him? He was real uptight when he left the bar.
And whose fault was that? You were talking to him, not me.
That's right, Michael.
It's not wrong you are there, Mr. O'Brien.
Now, just a minute, you guys. All I did was ask him about Peagram.
That fella owes me 180 quid.
That's an awful lot of money, Michael.
With compound interest, too. It grows with each time a telling.
Do you know a man called Peagram?
Indeed I do. Are you a friend of his, by any chance?
In a manner of speaking, I am.
Right, me boyo, 160 quid he owes me. Pay up.
That's Peagram's business, not mine.
Ah, but he's done a bunk, hasn't he? Scampered.
I know. That's why I'm here, to look for him.
And what about the money he owes me?
When I find him, I'll remind him about it. Did Peagram stay here?
Yes, he did. 6 nights plus breakfast.
He couldn't have had breakfast this morning. Not unless he had it afore he went to bed.
What the hell are you talking about, Doyle?
The history fella. I seen him this morning. Crack of dawn. I had to get up at 4 o'clock to see to the missus.
I didn't know your wife was sick, Pat.
She's not. Anyhow, I went out to empty the bucket. And what do you think I saw?
For the love of God, Doyle, get to the point.
It was the history man heading out to the village on a bicycle.
I knew it. Hand over me money, or I'll throw you out.
Can I see Peagram's room?
It's been taken by one of the brothers from the reformatory. They come every year for spiritual refreshment.
That's a good one. Their idea of refreshment is a good full of stout.
I wouldn't want to disturb a man of God, especially not a big fella from the bad boys' home.
I don't blame you, Mick. That brother's got muscles like a muscle man.
May I borrow this towel?
Don't change the subject. Are you going to pay me Peagram's rent or not?
No way. Listen, I'm not really his friend. I've never even met the guy. But I need to find Peagram urgently. I think his life is in danger.
Damn right it is.
Excuse me for butting in, Michael, but I think the young fella's telling the truth.
I'm sorry I bit your head off, sir.
That's okay, I understand. I guess. May I borrow this towel?
Sure you can, on one condition.
What's that?
You keep it away from old Ron.
Who's Ron?
That's him in the corner, with the hygiene problem.
Thanks.
I was telling the truth about Fitzy, mister.
Okay, calm down. Now tell me what happened.
I was standing here, minding me own business, when I saw this beautiful red sports car coming up over the hill. Would you look at that, says I, and I going over to take a closer look. Next thing, Fitzy comes tearing out of the pub and nearly knocks me on my ass. Well, the car just flies at him. It was too fast for poor old Fitzy, and hit him an awful wallop. He goes flying up on top. Jesus, says I thought he was a goner. Next thing, the driver hops out, and I couldn't believe my eyes. He was dressed like a bloody pixie.
Did this pixie have a scar on his cheek?
I couldn't see. He was wearing a stupid mask. Are you a special agent?
Sorry to disappoint you, kid, but I'm not. I'm just an ordinary guy caught up in a whirlpool of intrigue.
And you're drunk.
Not so.
Yeah, you've been drinking mucky beer in the boozer.
Only a few glasses. Did Fitzgerald drop anything when he was hit?
I didn't see. It all happened so fast.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
The plastic cover had been smashed by the pixie's car, revealing a switch. I pushed the switch down, but in doing so it snapped off in my hand. It was impossible to return the switch to its original position. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Are you sure you don't recognize this?
I told you, no.
Give me another beer, dude. Give everyone another beer. Let's party, guys.
I think you've had enough, don't you?
Hey, listen. Is it supposed to taste the way it does?
Gopeline stout is brewed from the finest chemicals in the world. I'm sorry, but the pump appears to be broken.
I could fix it for you.
I don't think so. This is a job for a professional electrician. Oh well, at least the glass washer is still working. It's not my idea, is it?
It just so happens I'm an electrician. Check out my credentials.
Well, no. Isn't that marvellous? Here's a house bedevilled with faulty wiring of a wayward nature. Here's you, an electric man, with a little plastic card to prove it. I still want to see what you can do before I let you touch me beer pumps. You can make a start on the glass washer. And when you finish that, will you take a look at the pumps?
Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien.
What now?
The boy told me Fitzgerald was driven away in the car that hit him.
McGuire's always spinning wild yarns. I don't know where he gets them from. Television, I expect, or comics. If I was you, I'd take what he says with a generous pinch of salt.
McGuire's tale about the car sounds quite plausible to me. He says the driver was dressed like a leprechaun.
That boy has a head full of fluffy toys.
Goodbye for now.
Good riddance to you.
There was nothing physically wrong with the glass washer. I used all my knowledge of electrical engineering to examine the plug. Seemed fine to me.
Well,
Well, what?
are you going to fix this glass washer or not?
It was a short piece of wire twisted into a rough circle. Hello again.
What?
What's that you're making?
It's a necklace, me bucko.
Oh, sure. Made out of steel wire?
That's right. A necklace for my pretty one. When my little lover feels it round her slender neck, she'll be mine. All mine.
If I was a woman, I wouldn't think much of a wire necklace.
It's not made for a woman. I've got my sights on tastier dishes than women. Flesh as smooth and tender as a maiden's. Bones as soft and white as a newborn babe's. Rabbit, lad. That's what gets my juices flowing.
Ah, so you're making snares to trap rabbits.
That's right. Do you have a problem with that?
Damn right I do. Isn't it painful?
Only if I get me fingers caught.
I'm talking about the rabbits. Do they feel much pain?
You bet.
I'll see you later. As soon as the old guy looked away, I grabbed his piece of wire. I replaced the fuse with a piece of wire. I knew it was dangerous, but I was desperate enough to disregard everything I knew about standard safety precautions. Excuse me, Mr. Leary. I fixed your glass washer, no problem.
Bingo! And a blessing to all the saints. A free half-pint to that man, on the house. Now, could you take a look at the beer pumps?
Well, I guess so, but I'm not making any promises.
If you can't fix them, I'll have a riot on me hands.
The pumps are in the cellar, right?
That's right. You'll find a flashlight down there somewhere.
Touching the glass washer would have been like putting my hand in a blender. I looked at the plug I'd fixed and felt a glow of pride. All my own work. What a dumb place to store a flashlight. A dark cellar. The only way I was going to find anything down there was to feel around. My hand closed on a long metal rod. I pushed the lever and heard the grating of metal, but nothing appeared to happen. I lifted the trap door, and an overpowering smell of stale beer rose from the cellar below. I looked down on a stone-tiled floor, way too far to jump.
Excuse me.
There was a nasty feeling in my guts I usually associated with light opera. It was Khan. What's the problem?
Did you see what happened here a few minutes ago?
What was that?
A man was involved in an unfortunate accident.
I didn't see anything.
What about the boy?
He doesn't know anything either. The kid, well, you know how it is in these rural communities. Not enough genes to go round. I prayed McGuire had the sense to keep his mouth shut. Was the guy hurt bad?
He's been taken care of, but he thinks he dropped a small parcel. You didn't happen to find it, did you?
If I had, I would have taken it to the police.
Of course. Thank you.
Then I noticed a flash of light, something sparkling beneath the open trap door. It was Peagram's gem, all right. A large, uncut blue stone. As I held it aloft, I realized the fascination it could command. I guess I was already under its spell.
Did you find it?
What?
Whatever you was looking for.
Yeah. Listen, McGuire. I want you to keep this to yourself.
No problemo. Just chuck us up a crate of lager.
No way. You're not old enough.
We can sell it and make some cash.
Forget it, kid. I couldn't betray Mr. Leary's trust.
I could, for sure. That old misery guts deserves it.
If you want to do me a favor, keep a lookout for that guy in the suit.
Okay. But it'll cost you a packet of chips.
Oh, and shout if you see that Ferrari. It was a couple of paper sacks filled with trash. I searched the trash, but there was nothing useful there. It was the lever which locked the trap door. I tried to pull the lever, but it wouldn't move with the trap door open. It was a bunch of cleaning materials. I looked among the cleaning materials, but saw nothing I could use. It was an empty carton which had once contained caustic soda. The carton was damp and soggy, useless. It was a calendar with a faded photograph of a prize-winning carp. It was a rusty faucet. The slow drip of water barely dampened the towel. The faucet creaked, coughed, and spewed out a stream of rusty-colored water. I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water. Hello again.
What?
What do you think of this flashlight?
Very useful. That could be very handy in the dark. How much do you want for it?
It's not for sale. It belongs to Leary. Did I show you this flashlight?
Yes, you did.
What does this gem mean to you?
Well, well. Would you look at that? Pretty.
Do you recognize it?
No?
I'll see you later. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
I found your flashlight.
So I see. You'd better keep hold of that until you fix the pumps.
Check out my card.
I've seen it, for heaven's sake.
Does this gem mean anything to you?
Sure. What a beauty. I bet you wish that was real, don't you?
Thanks. Hey!
Hello there again, mister.
What do you know about leprechauns, Doyle?
Leprechauns? Is it the little people you're talking about? Sure, and a cousin of mine was wed to one.
Oh, come on. Do you really expect me to believe that?
It's the truth, I'm telling you. She fell asleep on a fairy ring, see? When she woke up, there he was. A little fella, all in green.
Tell me more about your cousin and the leprechaun.
Oh, no.
Well, young Mary was speechless, especially when the leprechaun up and spoke to her. "Be my bride, me darling," says he, "and she'll never want for riches again." "Okay," says she, and he slips a ring of daisies on her finger.
Amen.
So there you are. Proof that the little people exist.
Well, that's no proof. All you have is her word for it.
Not so. The following spring, she had a little baby.
Did the leprechaun's promise come true?
What promise was that now?
That she'd never want for riches again.
Now, there's the strangest thing. She never did.
I thought you said she was claiming the social part.
Indeed, Mr. O'Brien. But there's riches and riches. She told me, Pat, she says, that little darling boy is all the riches in the world to me.
What do you think of this flashlight?
It's not very bright, is it?
I could say the same about some of the present company.
That's true. But don't let him hear you. Keep it under your hat, mister.
That flashlight, like your brain, darling, is not switched on.
I don't think he heard me.
What do you think of this flashlight?
You showed me before, mister.
Do you recognize this gem?
Saints be praised. It must be worth a fortune.
Maybe it is. Have you seen it before? It's the one which Peagram took from the dig.
Oh. How come you've got it now?
He left it behind. I'm looking after it.
Oh. You could take that to Dublin and sell it.
Do you recognize this gem?
Yes, you showed me before.
Bye for now. Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien.
What now?
What do you think of this flashlight?
It's not a very practical piece of equipment, is it?
It's not switched on.
I'm referring to the lack of a bracket. How would you be fixing that to your bicycle?
I don't have a bicycle. What do you think of this flashlight?
I've told you already.
Do you recognize this gem?
Ah, that's a beautiful stone. Is it the one which Pigram found?
And the reason why both he and Fitzgerald have disappeared.
Then it's only a matter of time before you vanish too.
Do you recognize this gem?
Yes, you've already shown me that.
Goodbye for now.
Good riddance to you.
Hey, McGuire.
What do you want to know?
What do you think of my flashlight?
It's a torch. That's what we call it on this side of the Atlantic.
Want a closer look at the gem, McGuire?
No, I don't. Jewels is for girls. You'd better hide that, mister. What if the pixie comes back? You'll be in trouble then.
I don't believe in pixies. Underneath that costume is a psychotic killer.
Smart.
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
The farmer's craggy face was set in a mask of aesthetic appreciation. His feet were set in a pair of manure-caked boots. On the back of the cart was a crazily stacked tower of hay bales, leaning precariously against the castle wall.
Get away, you silly noodle! Can't you see the load's unstable? Don't climb on the cart, pea-brain! Get down, you lemon-brained lummock!
The gates were made of solid, age-blackened wood. Pushing with all my strength got me nowhere. They didn't budge. I really need to start working out. Hi, it's me again.
So I see. What now?
Have you seen Professor Peagram?
No, he's packed up and gone.
Do you happen to know where?
Back in England, I suppose.
Do you think Peagram's disappearance is due to the curse?
Look at the facts. He dug up the gem, he disappeared, bingo. It doesn't take a degree in mathematics to work that one out, does it? You don't have to be a smarty Pythagoras with a calculator.
I guess not.
Peagram has run off with the gem.
What can you tell me about the castle?
Not much, I'm sorry to say. Most of its history is long forgotten. Ah, but if these old stones could only speak, what stories they'd tell. Stories to make your toes curl and your blood run cold. You know, this castle is said to be over 600 years old.
Who built the castle?
Mad Phelan, the first lord of Lochmarne. Well, I say lord, but actually he was little more than a village chieftain. He built his castle from the remains of the Templar preceptory.
Where was the site of the Templar preceptory?
Right here, on Temple Hill. Phelan built right on top of the old wall. It's said that deep beneath these walls there's a Templar chapel.
Did Peagram discover the chapel?
I don't know. His workers were sworn to secrecy.
Do you mind if I climb up your haystack to get into the castle?
What? You'd break your stupid neck for sure. Do you think I'd stand by and see your brains dashed out?
I'd be very careful, and I promise not to sue.
You won't get the chance, not while I'm here to stop you.
Good book?
A book? It's a passport to a world of fantasy and imagination.
Yeah, what's the title?
Creative Shelving for Beginners, the 1978 edition.
What's so cool about home improvement?
There's nothing like it. The resinous autumnal aroma of seasoned wood, the rhythmic rasp of the play. Ah, no wonder our Lord came to earth as the son of a humble carpenter. I bet he was a wizard with a chisel and a length or two before.
Surely the portrayal of Christ's adoptive family as humble artisans is a symbolic metaphor.
I don't know about that, but I know they were carpenters. Haven't you read the book?
Well, no. But I have seen The Greatest Story Ever Told, and I don't recall Jesus putting up any shelves. Did you happen to see a red sports car down on the road?
I caught a glimpse of a flash of red on the hill and heard the racket. Sure, it was an awful noise. A sports car, you say?
A Ferrari, to be exact.
A racing car? And what was it doing here? A poor fella must have been lost.
The driver of the Ferrari was involved in an accident.
Is that so?
Yeah, he knocked somebody down outside the bar.
What an idiot! How could a thing like that happen?
He was traveling too fast.
So fast he ran right under the car?
I mean, the car was traveling too fast.
But you'd have thought the idiot could have heard it coming.
Maybe you know the guy who was hit by the Ferrari. His name is Sean Fitzgerald.
Oh, I know him all right. That's me nephew, the idiot responsible for the stacking of my hay cart. Was he killed by the car?
Oh, no, but he has been abducted.
Well, that's a relief now.
Aren't you going to look for your nephew?
What for? From what you say, it's too late.
Well, you could report the matter to the police.
Better not. Besides, what could they do?
Well, they could mount a search.
They have only the one bicycle between them. In a question of superior acceleration, I put me money on the Ferrari.
I think you ought to know exactly what Sean has gotten himself into.
I'm not sure I want to know.
But you're his uncle, his own flesh and blood.
You're right, but what can I do? If I'm not here to guard it, some idiot might try to climb the haystack. What a moral dilemma. Stay here and guard this potentially lethal agricultural construction, or to go off in search of the prodigal nephew, the very man responsible for said hazard? It'll need some thinking about.
Why, there's no problem.
You're right. Why didn't I think of it before? We'll demolish the haystack.
You don't have to demolish the haystack to go look for Sean. I'll stay here in your place and warn anyone who's silly enough to climb it.
Marvellous! I think I should start me inquiries in the bar.
He strode off in the direction of McDevitt's bar, leaving me to contemplate the stack of hay. The stack of hay stopped, short of the top of the wall. Even if I stretched as far as I could, the wall was out of reach. What I needed was a slice or two of Alice's Wonderland. There was a narrow crack between two of the stones where the centuries-old mortar had crumbled away. I pushed my fingers into the narrow crack. It went back several inches into the rock. I inserted the end of the lifting key in the mortarless crack and gave it a firm shove. It remained lodged in the wall, jutting out to form a step. The lifting key was rammed tightly into the crack in the wall, forming a strong foothold. I tugged at the lifting key and found it was held quite securely. It was the fiercest, meanest-looking old goat I'd ever laid eyes upon. The goat's movements were restricted by a halter tied to a metal post. "Hey, Billy!" The animal fixed on me with an evil glare. Behind the malice and resentment, there was a cool intelligence. "How you doing, boy?" I felt as threatened as I'd been by the assassin and his goons in Paris. It was a rusted piece of iron, maybe part of a plow or something. The rope by which the goat was tethered had become tangled on the old plowshare. It was a rusted piece of iron, maybe part of a plow or something. No way was I going near that old goat. The goat was tangled up with the old plow. There was a pattern of 5 holes arranged on the wall. They'd been drilled there deliberately. I placed my fingers and thumb into the holes in the wall. Nothing happened. Behind the altar was a carved panel decorated with animals, birds, and plants. I tried in vain to move the panel. It was a statue which had fallen from its place on the wall. 5 fingers of stone projected from the back of the carving. The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand. The statue lay face up in the soft sand. As I swung the stone upright, I noticed it had left a pattern of holes in the sand. The 5 fingers on the back of the statue had left their impressions in the fine sand. I placed my fingers in the 5 impressions left by the fallen stone. It was weird. They fit perfectly. The bench had probably been used by Peagram and his archaeological team. The only object on the table which interested me was a small sack. The sack contained a fine white powder. As I dipped my fingers into the soft white powder, I realized what it was. Plaster of Paris. I'd used it in kindergarten to make casts of animal paw prints. The sack was empty. I reached into the sack, but it was empty. I placed my fingers in the 5 impressions left by the fallen stone. It was weird. They fit perfectly. I sprinkled the plaster on the sand until the holes were filled. The patch of sand where the statue had fallen was covered with a dense sprinkling of plaster. I smoothed the plaster level with the sand. It was my first experience of home improvement. I squeezed the towel as hard as I could, but it was barely damp.
Hey, McGuire,
What do you want to know?
do you know what this white powder is?
No?
See you later, kid.
Okay, mister.
The farmer was drinking and chatting with his pals as if nothing had happened. Maybe abduction had replaced cattle raiding as their national pastime.
Hello.
Hello there. Let me introduce you to my pals.
We've already met. I want you to know you have my sympathy.
Oh, it's just terrible, awful.
It's the worst news I heard all day.
It's topped the bad news all right for this week and the next.
The whole year.
It's worse than that. It's the worst disaster in living memory.
Isn't it the biggest calamity in the history of the village?
I would say it's the biggest in the history of Ireland.
The most awesome disaster since mankind paddled out of the primal plop.
There's no beer.
Is a glass of beer more important than a man's life?
Were you talking to me?
To all of you. Sean Fitzgerald has met with God knows what, and all you can do is drink.
Sean has gone for a ride in a flash car, that's all. Why don't you calm down and join us?
What about Sean? Why aren't you out looking for him?
There's no point in launching an ill-equipped expedition to save the lad. In a life-or-death situation, preparation is essential. That's why I slipped in here.
For a point.
Do you recognize this white powder?
Seems ordinary enough to me.
Does this false nose mean anything to you?
You're a circus clown.
No, but I got this from someone who disguised himself as a clown.
Is that a fact? Why did you do that now?
He's a psychotic killer. I think he may be connected with Peagram's disappearance. Did I show you this nose?
Yes, you did.
What do you make of this tissue?
That is a very unpleasant object indeed.
Yes. Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
No, but I wouldn't trust him. His eyes are too close together. He's not a friend of yours, is he?
Oh no, far from it. In fact, I believe it's the face of a killer.
I knew it! Piggy eyes. Can't trust him.
Do you recognize the man in this photograph?
I already told you I didn't.
Would you like to shake my hand?
What is this? I don't do that male bonding stuff.
Come on, forget your prejudice and shake hands.
Never. It's not natural.
What do you make of this matchbook?
Seems ordinary enough to me.
Do you recognize the name on this card?
I can't read that little writing.
It says Thomas Merlin, Gruber Electronics.
Is that your name, Tommy Merlin?
No, but what a great stage name. It had what my high school hypnosis act had lacked, style and class. For a few seconds, I bathed in spotlights on a thundering tide of applause. Tommy Merlin, hypnotist.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, I just remembered something. About this pass.
You showed me before.
Do you have any use for this towel?
I suppose I could squeeze it out into my glass if I was desperate enough.
What do you think of my flashlight?
Those electric lamps are useful but limited in lifespan in my experience. I was given one for my birthday, but it stopped working after a month.
Well, the battery was probably drained.
What? Nobody told me. I threw it away.
Did I show you my flashlight?
Indeed you did.
This is the gem that Peagram found in the castle.
So that's what all the fuss was about. I can't see why myself. Why men would fight and steal and kill over a little bauble like that.
Well, it's kind of neat the way it sparkles. This is the gem that Peagram found in the castle.
And that's where it belongs.
Do you recognize this white powder?
Seems ordinary enough to me.
I gotta go. Excuse me, Mr. O'Brien.
What now?
What do you make of this white powder?
Could it be bicarbonate of soda?
Goodbye for now.
Good riddance to you.
Hey!
Hello there again, mister.
Oh, nothing really. Excuse me.
Yes, sir?
Does this...
I knew it. The minute you walked through the door, I knew you spelled trouble.
Now, just a minute.
It might be what you're used to in New York, but we don't use that stuff here.
Hey, it's plaster. I found it in the castle. Does this...
I'm not interested.
Thanks. Hello again.
What?
What do you make of this white powder?
Ah! Hay fever!
I'll see you later. I held the towel under the faucet and soaked it with water. I smoothed the plaster level with the sand. It was my first experience of home improvement. The trickle of water was quickly absorbed by the plaster. A lump of hardened plaster lay on the sand at my feet. The plaster cast was a pretty neat replica of the back of the stone, complete with protruding fingers. I eased the solid piece of plaster from the sand. Underneath, it had formed a perfect copy of the statue. The hardened plaster cast fitted snugly into the 5 matching sockets. There was a soft thud, then silence. The plaster replica was held against the wall by the pins slotted into the matching sockets. The fragile replica was jammed into the sockets in the wall. I decided not to disturb it. The statue was too heavy to lift. It overbalanced into the sand.
So, where did you stay last night?
At McDevitt's, I got to drinking with Doyle and a couple of the guys.
That explains why you look so ill today. Did you get any sleep at all?
Not much. I had to share the room with another guy.
Did he snore?
Hardly. He was dead. Then Leary woke me in the middle of the night to help bail out the cellar.
The cellar was flooded?
Yeah, some idiot had left the faucet running.
And you say Piagram has disappeared?
Without a trace. But my visit wasn't a complete waste of time.
Piagram's gem?
The Templars' gem. Whoever Jacques Marquet is, he's in for a disappointment.
Jacques Marquet?
He's the guy who should have collected the gem from Fitzgerald.
I've been reading about Piagram in this magazine.
The media got its claws on him.
Yeah, if I was his agent, I'd get him to lose the pipe.
That dig must have been pretty important to him. He resigned his chair at Durham University to go to Ireland. And now he's disappeared. See what you can find out about Professor Peagram.
I'll speak to the university. What are your plans?
I want to find out who, what, or where Montfaucon was. All I've got to go by is the name and a picture of a hanged man. What do you know about Professor Peagram?
I've seen a television program, Piagram's Past. He's written a book, The Crusader Families of Ireland.
Let's take another look at the manuscript. That's the tripod in the Crew Museum. That's the gem that Peagram found in Lochmarne. Look, Nico, a handful of plaster.
Yeah. Why is it that men never really grow up?
What's your problem, sister?
Your pockets stuffed with useless junk like little boys.
You never know when useless junk might come in handy. Look, Nico, a handful of plaster.
Yeah, you showed me.
Do you want to look after the gem?
No, Josh. I'd be too tempted to sell it.
I can't sit here all day, much as I'd like to.
Okay. Don't forget to look for Lobinur at the Krun Museum. And why don't you see if Rosso has heard anything?
Okay. Anything else I can do for you while I'm out? Shopping, a trip to the laundromat?
Just take care of yourself.